Why, hello there, everyone. Yep, I'm back. I'm live streaming again. Yeah. Hello. I'm the Kumo Sensei, and it's another day, and we're still pushing on. And I have to say, it's been about a week since my last upload, so it's good to be back. And I'm gonna give I don't know. Today is my day off, so I am gonna use a little bit of this time to actually relax after this. Or relax currently. And then I do gotta go training later today. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna be doing for training because I still gotta gain a little bit of weight before I start training again. Like weight training, but maybe a little bit of cardio, a little bit of some delts, maybe a little bit of chest and lower abs. But as always, I'm back and I'm live streaming. And honestly, I do, man, I do kind of miss live streaming more frequently, but really I don't have as much free time because I'm working a lot more. So that's kind of one thing taking up a lot of time. But I hope it's not too big of an issue. But I'll figure this out, right? But as always, I'm going to give everybody a bit of time to hop on in. And yeah, it is... It's going to be I don't know, I don't want to say it's going to be a short live stream, but let's see what we can do with this live stream here. So I'm going to give everybody a bit of time. And boy oh boy, these headphones are kind of heavy. But just don't mind it, everybody. But next week though, I should be able... Well, next week I may actually start vlogging again. Because I'm waiting for the last of what I need for my enclosures to come in. But once they all do, I'm going to start renovating this room up quite a bit, actually. I'm going to move some stuff around. But this position is still going to be the same. But it's really just the things behind me that's going to be rearranged quite a bit. Because I'm going to be slowly putting together my business. And it's going to be quite a fun one. So let us hope for the best, everybody. And I don't want to make too many promises on how things are going to look or how things are going to turn out, but one step at a time, and let us see where this goes, right? But oh man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous, but at the same time I'm very confident in what I do, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue is what I'm saying. But I'm looking forward to it though, more so. But I have to say, I think, man, it's really what comes afterwards that really kind of makes me think when it comes to like the stuff I want to do, such as voice acting and things of that nature. There's a lot I really want to try out, but at the same time though, I don't know exactly how things are going to be. But, you know, I'm still pushing and I'm hoping for the best actually, because I would be lying if I said I have everything under control. I'm pretty confident in what I do, but there's really no knowing of the end result here. So in a way, we're kind of stepping into the unknown. Am I afraid? A little bit, but not to the point where, like, I'm intimidated, though. More so of, we just kind of had to figure out what's going to happen as we go on through this. Oh yeah, and I did get some new earrings because, yeah, of yesterday, if you watched daily push-ups. So I did kind of lose one of my earrings, so I had to get a new pair. These earrings will do for now. And nothing too crazy, but yeah, new earrings, baby. I know earrings are not that interesting, but to me, I had to get new earrings though. These are not technically mine, but I hope they don't mind that. If you're watching this and these are your earrings, you know who you are. But thank you for letting me borrowing these for stage acting though. I truly appreciate it. But man, hello there, John. It's good to see you again. Yeah, it's been a while since our last live stream. I just discussed a little bit about my next vlog, which I should be able to vlog next 2 to 3 weeks. It really depends on when my enclosures come in, John. But I really want to bring you guys on this adventure because the reason why I haven't been vlogging is because really I've just been working. But like I stated though, John, the moment I get my enclosures and the business starts coming together, I'm going to actually vlog my journey of this business, building it up. And then after that, and then once we get the business started, I will start vlogging how the business goes, but also the ventures into voice acting as well, because I really want to show everybody like my journey coming in. It's kind of like you're just watching me trying to get somewhere in life, and I don't know what comes afterwards after voice acting. I do want to do something with stage acting, but once I hit those three goals of starting my business with my animals, voice acting, and then stage acting, I don't really know what's next. I think I would truly be content once I finish these three goals. So, I don't know. Do I just end it there, or do I just keep going? But really, I don't know. See, oh, thank you, John. Yes, that is. Yeah, thank you for that. That's essentially my first credentials in my voice acting career. Yeah, I did the voice narration for Exotic's video. He has such a passionate manga that he's creating. Yeah, I would truly be appreciative if people go support it, because I do actually read those type of things too, passion projects and things of that nature. Even it doesn't have to be just manga related. It could be anything that is scripted. Same thing for stage acting. People do know that I am a stage actor, so I do read some amateur scripts, and I do perform in those plays if they need somebody. Like, I love reading passion projects. There is a difference between reading professional work and reading like passion projects. There is just something magical about it. People don't understand when you read professional works like manga that is popular, things of that nature. It goes through a filter, so like there's a ton of editors, ton of like things cut out, and the original vision, even though it is there, it's not the true original vision. This is the reason why I love reading passion projects here and there, because you can just like there's no one but that one person in control of what they're reading, so you absorb all of it, like of what they're trying to create, and it's just beautiful. They should just, there's a saying, let the creators create, because that is how beauty is born. Oh, John, I love reading stuff like that. It just doesn't happen nowadays because people are just too afraid of like being themselves. So like, if they think it's if you have any idea that you think is genuine, like to you personally, don't let anyone talk you out of it, because you just don't really know how it's gonna turn out. So when I was approached to actually to narrate this thing, it's kind of funny. I'm usually open to voicing anything, but if it's a passion project, usually I have to read or get a general understanding of what they want first before I actually jump into a project, because I don't want to be doing some random projects that are either that doesn't fit for me or things like that, because I really just want to voice something that fits me, Like, I have to love it for me to do it. I'm not going to do it for the money or for the credit. Even though this one is, Hello there, Marco. You're finally on time. Oh boy. We're just talking about voicing me in my voice acting role for Exotic's video. It was very nice to voice the narration for his passion project. And that is essentially my first voice acting role, I guess, as the narrator for his summary of his passion project for the manga he creates. He does actually upload really good quality videos in terms of manga creation, and really just he kind of takes you along on his journey. So really go support it. But man, Marco, it's been a while though since I last seen you, but welcome back. It's honestly great to see everybody again. And oh boy, I really gotta train, but I can't really train too hard nowadays because I'm way too skinny, put it that way. But it's good to see everybody back. And we're almost at 1,000 days for daily push-ups. And I will actually talk about that, and I am going to make a video on that on day 1,000 on where to go afterwards, because like everybody just keeps saying go to like to 2,000 or something. But in all honesty, though, I'm not gonna milk that for views. But I'm gonna wait a bit before we jump into that discussion. But oh man, it's super nice though. Today is the first day of September. Imagine Kumos instead of Araragi. I like Araragi a lot. That man is built. It's kind of funny because this was about 4.5 years ago actually. I used to have hair similar to Araragi, and I remember someone was like, dude, you should cosplay as Araragi. You have like his ab structure. I was like, I'll pass for sure. But Araragi, that man is built. People forget that, even though that man is kind of like a pervert in the anime, he is built like a unit. Like, man, it's kind of funny because people are like, dude, you should definitely be Araragi. I was like, no, I'll pass, man. Like, I'll pass on that. But I do love Monogatari though. Like, man, hold up. What is? Sorry, there's so many Monogatari series. I need to actually keep up. Like, hold up. Like the watch, not the watch date. I mean the release dates, because they are literally. Okay, hold up. Where? Bum, bum, bum. Give me a second. There are so many characters. Oh man. Okay, did you read the Monogatari light novels? Not all of them, because you have to understand, when I started reading Monogatari, the light novels, I think only 2 of them were translated at the time. No, 2 or 3. And I think in terms of how many series there were in the Monogatari light novels, there was only about 7 or so. I think Kizu Monogatari was the last one, or the latest one released, which basically ties everything together. So Monogatari, I have not read all of them because not all of them are translated. I did read some of them raw during my college years, like just pure Japanese. But in terms of like Monogatari, reading it all, no, I have not read all of them yet. I have to say that people do ask me who's my favorite character in Monogatari. My favorite character of Monogatari of all time is Meme Oshino. I love that man. He is like, Meme Oshino is like, he's kind of like, I can relate to that man. He's like the guy that, oh man. If you know Meme Oshino, he basically knows everything, or if not a thing here and there about whatever is going on. And I'm not gonna lie, every single time Araragi approaches to Meme Oshino about a problem or something that needs to be solved, I'm just like Meme Oshino, like, god damn you, Araragi. Like, I'm so busy and you gotta be bringing more situations my way, god damn you. Like, I can relate to Meme Oshino, man. I'm just having to deal with Araragi's bullshit. Whenever he... I don't hate Araragi by any means, but my god, did they rely on him way too much. And I was so happy when he basically leaves town, so Araragi has to solve all of these issues and situations by himself, because that was needed. Man, I really love Meme Oshino. He's my favorite character, and like my favorite character in the entire Monogatari series. There's a lot of shows in the Fate series as well, which makes it impossible to know where to start. There's actually only 4 mainline series that you have to watch, which is basically Fate Zero, the original Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel, and Unlimited Blade Works. People said Fate Zero is not canon, but I forgot to research that from like the last few live streams ago. Everything else of the Fate series is basically either spin-offs or non-canon. So Fate series is actually not that hard to watch in comparison to Monogatari. In Monogatari, everything is canon. That is the most insane thing to say. Like literally Monogatari is one of the only series where you have to pretty much watch all of it. Like, because none of it is not non-canon. Everything is canon within this universe. Which is like the most insane thing to say, honestly. So everybody dies watching Monogatari. They literally dread watching it. There were three top hunter, or four. One is Oshino. Yeah, that's the reason why he's always busy. Like, Meme Oshino, he's always a busy guy, but he knows his stuff. Like I'm pretty sure he can take on anything in Monogatari. Anything supernatural. Like he's always gonna be there. It's just frustrating to me because Araragi keeps jumping on him like, yo, Oshino, please help. Like, oh my god, I just can't stand it. In the beginning, when I was watching Monogatari, this is before I started reading it. Like, when I started watching Monogatari, I thought Meme Oshino was more of like a teacher-esque type of character for Araragi. But then later on, you just come to recognize that Meme Oshino is just a guy that just has to deal with so much bullshit, but Araragi just keeps throwing it onto him. It becomes frustrating because you start to understand that, like, Araragi can't really do much by himself if you think about it. Until, Oshino actually leaves, and then a bunch of new characters starts hopping in. It's just crazy to say that, honestly. But I really do love Oshino, though. Meme Oshino, favorite character of all time for Monogatari. Nobody tops him. Like, as much as I like my boy Araragi, and he's built like me too, but still prefer Oshino, though. 3 days ago marked the 10th anniversary of the Apothecary Diary. Yes, John, I did actually saw that. I think I retweeted it too on my Twitter. Man, the Apothecary Diaries, I cannot wait for Season 2. Season 2 has been announced for 2025 of next year for summer, I believe. I'm so ready to hop on and read it. And oh boy, I think they announced a stage play too, for the Apothecary Diaries, which is kind of insane. Why didn't he kill Shinobu? He has so many chances. I don't know. I feel like Meme Oshino, I feel like the thing that kind of makes him interesting is that you can even tell by his demeanor and how he speaks is that he is so tired of the mundane. He's tired of the ordinary. He could have killed Shinobu, and let's be honest here, everybody. I think Meme Oshino is one of the most overpowered characters of all time. Not in the sense of like he is literally strong, which he really isn't. It's just the fact that I feel like he hides, like he knows more than he's letting on. Let's put it that way. And we all can admit that. Those type of characters are very interesting. They're not my favorite type of characters. The characters that know more than they're letting on, which I'm kind of like that sometimes, but I think is more interesting is that you just don't know like what he's up to. Especially when he leaves town and just leaves Araragi to deal shit on his own, you know? But that's just my personal take here on what I personally think about Oshino, but I really like that guy a lot though. And I know people said like people have their waifus here and there. I don't really have a waifu in Monogatari, even though there is a lot of waifu material characters. I really just like Oshino by himself as a character. I don't know. People like Shinobu, but I think Shinobu's okay as a character. Some people like Hachikuji. I don't like Hachikuji. I just find her kind of mesmerizing at times. And I know people like Hanekawa because she's like the character with the most plot. But I'm not really into the Hanekawa type characters because I know Hanekawa. I actually know those type of characters in IRL, and honestly, they're kind of a pain in the butt to work with at times. But that's just my personal, like, don't take me on that though. Did you think this new Monogatari? Can you finish that sentence? But I have not seen the new Monogatari series, the latest ones, because I think I'm about like a season or two behind actually when it comes to the Monogatari series, because there's a soul. Oh man, I actually need to find that. Hold on, let me pull up my Twitter real quick. Someone actually made a Monogatari watch order because someone actually did this. Here is on Reddit. Hold up. I found it. Let me pull it up real quick. God dang it. Hold up, let me... Here it is. Hello there, Shadow. Let me pull it up for you guys. So, I think this right here is the best interpretation of how to watch the Monogatari series. It's just my personal opinion if you want to watch it in the right order. It's David Winster's birthday? That's interesting. I have not kept up with Dave at all for a while, man. John being John. No, John actually posted some really good facts. That's why he's a moderator. I actually like when he posts information that I don't know. Because, you know, when people post things I don't know about, that actually interests me more than people posting things that I can relate to or things I know about. Because it's like, anime is like an expansive universe here. And it's not just anime. Like, the whole medium of the culture, like light novels, web novels, visual novels, anime. Anime is only one of that, everybody. Manga, and then, you know, manhwa, donghwa, and then the whole 9 yards. Like, I know, like, I am the whole universe here, but people only want to focus on the anime part. So when people post things I don't know about everybody, I actually find it to be very interesting. So I actually go full nerd anime historian. I'm a historian, by the way, everybody. Like an anime historian. But oh, I'm getting sidetracked. See, everybody? You see? See, this is why I love having live streams at times, just having a conversation. But I find someone posted this on Twitter, and I actually think this is by far the most accurate way to watch Monogatari in a sense. Let me rephrase that, in a sense, in quotations, because I think this kind of ruins the fun of how to watch Monogatari. But if we're talking about chronological order on how to make things make sense in the Monogatari universe, this is the way to go at it. Like, I actually find this to be not spot on, but a good visual representation of, like, how to start. If we exclude all of the spin-off series and things of that nature here. Now granted, I would not actually recommend watching Monogatari series this way, because it kind of ruins it in a way. But if we're talking about, like, piecing the chronological series in order to where it's digestible, I think this is the way to go at it. Unless you want to be that one meme of the one Office meme of where, like, the guy's like this and there's like a bunch of stuff laying out on, like, piecing things together. But this is probably the way I would kind of look at Monogatari if you want to make it make sense to an extent. Now, I actually don't agree with this way of watching, actually, but it's kind of the closest you can get to it. But hey, feel free to watch Monogatari the way you want to watch it. If I had to recommend it, just watch in release date by what series came first, and then you can just piece the rest yourself, because it's more fun that way, in my personal opinion. But people have their own ways of watching Monogatari, though. The only reason why I don't really talk about Monogatari too often here on the channel is because Monogatari is a very niche... It is still, in my opinion, a very niche anime to get into. You kind of need to get the itch to watch it. But that's just me, though. Because even when Bakemonogatari came out in 2011, I believe, or was it 2013? 2013, I believe, was when it came out, actually. It was very confusing. Even on episode 1. Who... Oh, man. You had to be there when Bakemonogatari released. Because everybody was just so confused on, like, episode 1. Like, Senjo Gahara just coming down from, like, the hallway steps, and then she's as light as a feather, or light as a crab, quote-unquote. No spoilers, but a very confusing first episode for all of us. And you have to remember, anime back then, it was not as big as it was now. And there was that one small little group on the internet. I remember on 4chan too. They were like, bro, read the light novel. Like you had to read the light novel. And at the time, there was a manga adaptation, but nobody read it because, let's be honest, nobody reads manga adaptations of light novels because they're not too accurate, and the visual representation isn't the true vision of the light novel's creation and the way they view things. So it was very interesting. I remember how boy, 2009? That makes me even feel older now. God damn. See, I'm getting old. I need to retire. I really got to retire from watching anime at some point. Because, man, I'm getting too old. My anime historian is becoming mesmerized. No, I'm kidding. I don't plan on quitting watching anime until the day I get married. I've always stated that, and I'll state that again. If I ever get married, I'm thinking about just leaving anime behind then. But I'm not married yet, nor am I in a relationship, because it becomes a whole different story then, though. But like I stated, as long as I watch anime, I still watch anime. Even though I don't watch anime as heavy as I used to, though. You need to watch Monogatari, not to skip every 5 seconds episode of this new series. Man, this is how every Monogatari fan is, I promise you. You can't... See, but that's the thing though, Marco. You can't skip anything about it. Not even... Like, Monogatari is a series you really cannot skip anything on. You can't leave the anime. I'll just go read the light novels if that's the case. But, man, just saying though. I'm just that type of guy though. But, just kidding. Anyone... Oh man. I don't know how people nowadays can watch. Why would you stop anime after marriage? That's a good question, but that's kind of personal though, you know? I'll be too busy with waifu. No, I'm kidding. No, here's the thing. Unless my fiance or my future wife, that is, or whatever, unless she's like a complete anime nerd, or unless she's heavy into anime, then I really don't see the need of like watching anime too much because I'm gonna be, you know, too busy. I'll pull my ex in anime and manga. Yeah, but I don't want to like force a significant other into anime though. That's the thing about me though. Like I don't want to, you know, like everybody has things they like and dislike, you know. I don't think everybody, like when it comes to relationships, there's going to be things that will work and things that won't work that you just kind of need to figure out. You can't just force all your personal dislikes and likes into your significant other, you know. That's just the way I approach things, and I feel like I'm not saying I have a significant other already, but if I ever do, I don't think she'll be that into anime as into I was, because I like anime, but I'm not like those people that say you're not a true anime fan, so therefore you gotta do this, that, you know? Everybody has their own spectrum of being an anime fan. Some are casual, some are heavy, and some are more lighter than others. So for me, I don't think, like, if I ever do get a girlfriend or a wife or a fiance or something like that, I'm not gonna, like, force her to go heavy on the anime, you know? If she likes anime, that's cool, but I just don't see anyone watching anime as heavy as I did in the past, you know? Or anime knowledge as of now. But that's just the way I view it. But I don't know. Maybe that's a bit too personal. In a way, it kind of is now that I think about it. But it kind of makes sense once you actually get into a relationship. For those with dating experience, me here raising my hand because I'm single now, but I wouldn't mind dating in the future though. I am thinking about dating again. Ooh, maybe that's a bit too personal talking about my personal life, but I am thinking about going back into dating again, like actually trying to commit into a relationship once I start my my business. But we'll just wait and see because I don't want to call any shots now. But overall though, I hope that clarifies something though, Ashcat. I don't really oh, you're watching cartoon. Now 3 months cartoon is not an anime. I wish that was the case, but not everybody's like that, Marco. Anime is different for everybody. Some people use it as a medium, other people use it as like a stress reliever, and some people actually watch anime for a living. But for me, I'm just a guy who just happened to stumble upon anime. So I don't want to say anime is the end all be all, because it wasn't for me. Anime was just something that was just kind of just happened, honestly. But people have to understand that like everybody will have a everybody's perspective on anime will be different, quote unquote. I really don't think like people's perspective on anime will be the same universally, because it's like asking what's your favorite anime of all time. Everybody's answer will be different. So in all honesty though, I can't really force my anime love onto others, because it just wouldn't really be fair. You know, but hey, to each their own though. And I know some people have been asking about my personal life, and I've said this before, I'm currently single. I choose to be single right now because I really want to chase after my dreams first, prior to I'm putting my dreams ahead first before my love life, I guess, or my relationship life. But I hope people don't mind that though. And I don't really try to make buddies online, because I personally believe that it's better to have a friend relationship of people you can meet in person rather than trying to make online friends, because it's kind of creepy if you think about it. Why do you think a lot of people end up being groomers or communicating with underage fans? I just can't stand those type of people, so I'd rather just back away and focus on IRL than trying to make friends in the internet, quote unquote. Is Gates a good anime? Gate is Shadow, in my personal opinion. I think Gate's light novel is God tier. Well, it's B plus A tier, because it's an old light novel. But in terms of its anime, the anime is fine. But oh my god, the anime does pace pretty badly towards the later half. But I really do think the Gate anime is decent. Who would I guess we got a new Fairy Tail? I did talk about that on my last live stream, Marco. I honestly think Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, the anime up here that we just passed by, is actually pretty good. Here's the thing. I personally think that... See, the reason why I don't like Fairy Tail as much is because I think the first 4 to 5 arcs of Fairy Tail, of OG Fairy Tail, was A to S tier. But after that, it starts... the story becomes a bit forced, because you can tell that Hiro Mashima just wanted the series to end, but his publication company kept telling him to keep publishing more chapters and stuff, and you can start to feel like the burden of Fairy Tail towards like after those first 4 to 5 arcs. But like 100 Years, even though 100 Years Quest isn't written by Hiro Mashima, it is supervised by him, and man, it feels a bit better in terms of pacing. So I do appreciate it a lot, actually. It isn't perfect as the OG Fairy Tail, but it's pretty good though. Have you tried Failure Frame? Feel the story is somewhat interesting, but the animation can be horrendous at times. The comment is coming. Okay, hold up. Okay, hold up. Sorry, I don't have my my comments shown on the live stream, but I can actually read what's going on here on the side. Oh wow. Okay, hold up. We'll answer these one at a time. Have you tried Failure Frame? Huh? Failure Frame. Nope, I have not tried this one. I have seen the clips on Twitter, but honestly, it doesn't look interesting to me though. I mean, it's not bad, but I've seen it reminds me of like your generic typical stuff though. But I would probably, I don't know, maybe I'll go check it out since you said it has bad animation, which makes me more interested. The VTuber Legend dub. Yes, I have seen the VTuber Legend dub. It's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not a VTuber, so I can't relate to it, but I know the VTuber community loves it a lot. But I don't know, man. The last time I talked about the VTuber community, they're very vocal, but I would definitely go check it out. Yeah, Marco, I understand about the fairy tale, okay, guys? Okay, so I said it. I think Fairy Tale 100 Year Quest is pretty good. It's not as perfect as OG Fairy Tale, but it's pretty good. Even if you cut off the fan service esque type of stuff, but hey, it's Fairy Tale for you though. What you expect? You know, don't hate me for saying that. But I've seen so much anime at this point. I really couldn't care less about what I missed and what I've watched because I feel like I've just seen it all at this point. But hey, that's just my personal life though. Don't judge me. I've been busy lately, so I can't watch all the animes now. I don't think CGI in anime is terrible all the times. Sometimes it blends very well, and you just don't notice it. Not A1 Pictures. What am I saying? Studio Ufotable with Demon Slayer, for example, has great CGI to the animation. Another great example is Attack on Titan. Sometimes where there's CGI to the animation. Another great example sometimes is what you call it. There's a few examples out there with decent CGI into the animation. But I hate it when the CGI is noticeable, such as the Misfit of Demon Lord Academy Season 2, when you see the monster CGI looking as bad as it does, or that one clip in the Suicide Squad Isekai anime, where the CGI dragon's looking kind of wonky. You know, I don't think CGI anime is bad all the time if it's done well, but for the most part though, CGI anime is pretty bad. Now, granted, in my personal opinion, there are some animes that are beautiful in CGI. There's two examples that always come into my head. One is the anime movie Expelled from Paradise. That OST is so good. Oh my god, I still listen to the piano OST, and I think it's their 10th year anniversary since that movie came out. I love that CGI movie for some reason, even though it is a bit corny, and the CGI is a bit wonky for its time for 2014. Another great example of great CGI anime that's completely CGI is Land of the Lustrous. Oh man, I love Land of Lustrous is such a unique series. That's the best way to put it. I love that series though, period. But hey, just saying, if you've never seen CGI anime, the best one without a doubt is Land of Lustrous. The OSTs are amazing. I love Land of Lustrous, man. If we're talking solely on CGI anime, Land of Lustrous is the one that has gotten it right. Everything else, it's pretty bad, you know. Well, maybe there is good CGI anime here and there. I think Anjin Demi-Human is actually pretty decent, actually. But I still think Land of Lustrous is probably the one that executed the best in terms of 100% CGI, or not 100%, but a CGI basis of an anime. And I'm still waiting for the anime to come back because the manga is pretty much concluded, by the way. I still need to go read it because I never read the manga for Land of Lustrous, but man, oh man, is this something different. I love when anime is different. I can't compare Land of Lustrous to anything else because it is completely its own thing. There's nothing like it, nothing of it. Like, it's not like it's really its own category of anime. Oh man, see, Ashcat, I totally can relate to that, of like really off-putting animation choices. So I really just don't want to question it because there are people behind it working on stuff like that. Oh man, CGI anime always been bad since 2015. I think 2015 is when you start to notice like the wonkiness in CGI in anime. It's pretty funny because until that time, I don't know. Can anyone go back to like the 2000s era before the 2010s era and like just think of an anime that used CGI? I can't think of much of any. I know people always pull up the Evangelion scene of Asuka, raising that whole ship from like the sea or whatnot. That ugh. But other than that, though, I don't think CGI has been prevalent or present in anime until like the most modern animes nowadays. It's probably just the way I see it, though. I personally don't think anime is bad with CGI. It's really just up to how they use it is where the problem begins. Because people don't complain about Demon Slayer, and it has CGI in it. Nor do they complain about the Fate series, like Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. That has CGI in it as well, but people don't mind it at all, you know, because it blends in so well with the 2D that you honestly just can't tell a difference at that point. Same thing for Attack on Titan for some certain scenes. Like, there's CGI. I think the good CGI knows how to blend itself into like into like its own world, quote unquote. But when it's bad, it sticks out like a sore thumb. But hey, to each their own, right, on how they view anime. But still, though, if you want to watch a good CGI anime, I still recommend Land of the Lustrous. Land of the Lustrous, that is, man, I'm going to say this, and this is going to be a hot take for maybe the next 5 to 10 years. In my personal opinion, I do not think there will ever be a CGI anime as good as Land of the Lustrous. Hello there, Lino. Love from Germany. Hey, that's nice to hear. I actually did have, I don't have friends from Germany, but I did know, I did have some online buddies a very long time ago from Austria. And I know in Austria, they speak German too. Oh yeah, shout out to people in Germany and Austria. Shout out to the homies, if they're still... I don't talk to them no more. I don't really talk to them no more, but really nice of them, though. I know that people, I don't know, they seem like really nice people from the last time I spoke to them from 2018-ish. Those are some times, though. Some old times, that is. But it's really cool to see my community from all over the place. Like, it's crazy. Like you don't really think about it. Like, I don't at least think about, like, where your people comes from in terms of what they watch. Well, I mean, in terms of, like, where they're watching it from. So, I have people literally tell me they're from Brazil, now Germany. That's one added to the list. India, pretty much everywhere, man. Croatia, the whole 9 yards at this point. It's really nice. And I do not live in Japan, by the way. I do want to make that kind of clear. I am from the United States, so I'm an American, my nationality. I'm not Japanese, so I don't live in Japan. So, just to clarify, because it seems like everybody thinks I'm from Japan, which is understandable. And even if some people can kind of understand where I come from, or if some people can understand a little bit about my ethnicity, I'd rather just keep quiet about it. And, everybody's welcome, just put it that way. Now we add Ireland as well, yes. We have pretty much everybody in Europe at this point. I think we have about everybody in Europe, but France. I think France is the only one I don't have yet in terms of viewership. But everybody, though, has been added on. Really nice to see people from all over the world watch anime, though. I don't think you know where you came from. Sadly, I do not. I do not know. In terms of ethnicity, not necessarily. The interconnectedness of the world rules, yes. That's really nice. There's people on my... Okay, there's some new people here, so I'm going to explain a bit about my ethnicity and my heritage. So my family tree is actually kind of lost, quote unquote, because my grandfather is the last surviving he was the last surviving member of his family. So he fled from one country to another, and then essentially they ended up here in America. But in terms of like our actual ethnicity, it's kind of up in airs. No one really knows. So it's kind of lost. So for those who are wondering what my ethnicity is, no one really knows. It's really because my grandfather was an orphan growing up, because his whole family essentially perished. Like, literally perished from sickness and pretty much bad omen. So, my grandfather, my grandpa was a very wise man, put it that way. His whole thing was family, because he essentially didn't have any family, because he was the last on his family. But my grandfather or my grandpa was really lucky, because a family of a different, well, just say a different group took in my father, put it that way. And lo and behold, our family tree survived. Even though we don't really know what I am, or what we are, essentially, though. It's a lost family tree, to put it simply, though. That's the best way to put it. But you can kind of already guess what part of, like, what ethnicity is already in me. You can kind of guess, but I'm gonna say, just keep it quiet. Okay? We're gonna keep it quiet on what they are. But essentially, though, that's the history of my family tree. It's basically lost. Oh, that hurts, you know. That I don't know is from Croatia. I don't know from France, but don't know where I am from. Ouch. Hey, don't hate me. Okay. You'll understand someday, everybody. ごめんなさい。僕の日本語は上手じゃない。Oh, wait, I'm speaking Japanese. See, my Japanese is not bad, but it's not great. You can kind of guess where this is going. So, you always romanticize the mysterious origin. I don't really romanticize it. I really just like keeping it up in the airs, because I think by making it too obvious to some people, it kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. Have you ever been, man, I live in America, so it's kind of, I don't want to say it's like a racial thing, but like when somebody just comes up to me and just starts speaking Japanese, I'm like, oh shit. Like, I can kind of understand what you're saying, but I don't speak it fluently, and you feel kind of bad, because they're like, well, it's to be expected. You're supposed to speak Japanese. What is your Nihongo like? I'm like, oh, ごめんなさい。僕の日本語は悪いですよね. It's pretty bad, isn't it? Yeah, I know, it's bad. Or they'll be coming up to you and speaking a whole nother ethnicity on what they think you are. They were like, vous parlez donc français? I was like, oh, you're speaking French. That's pretty nice. And I was like, okay, I speak French too, baby. Why don't we jump into this? Like they say about speaking French. La France... Wait, La français est la langue de l'amour. Oh wait, I'm speaking French now. Sorry about that. But yeah, though, speaking other languages is confusing, man. No, you're fine, everybody. Sorry about me. Nah. It's kind of confusing, honestly. I think the best way to explain it is that when people expect you to speak a language that you're supposed to be good at, but in a way, you have a reason why you don't speak it that well, it kind of becomes lost, you know? Kind of like when people think I'm supposed to speak Portuguese. Like, meu nome é Kumo Sensei. In the beginning, there were me, IDK, John, and then Abby Count. There was actually more than that. We had Itarika, and then we have dang, we have more, but it'll come as I go though. Abby, she's busy with school, so she doesn't come along to our live streams as often. IDK, he's kind of doing his own thing now, and then John and you are still here. So that's basically the majority of people though. I don't really want people to just waste their lives watching me personally. Like, I really want people to go out there and go do their own lives. Because, like, I know that I upload every day, and I do, I keep pushing on my life, but YouTube is such a small fraction of it. It's kind of the reason why I don't want to force myself to make videos every day. Even though I upload it every day now, I do it because it's really fun, and it's easy for me, just put it that way. It's easy fun. Easy dumb fun. That's the best way to put it. So because of that, like, I upload every day because how easy and fun it is. But at the same time, though, I really want people to understand that I'm actually trying to get my life together, because the pandemic is no longer, around. The pandemic was actually one of the worst things to happen in my life. And it's actually one of the reasons why I started this channel, because I was stuck in life and I was just waiting it out for the whole pandemic to end. But the moment the pandemic was officially over here in the United States, considered no more, I got a job, I got my life together, and I'm just legit putting everything together. I know that people say that I'm very consistent and very hardworking, but I've always been like that. Like, is this not noticeable in the beginning of this channel? Because when I started this channel, I was literally stuck at home here, where you're seeing right now. Aura means oh dear. Yes, I know. Funny thing, Croatia is a Balkan country from Europe, and people didn't know about Serbia. I actually have, man, Croatia is pretty interesting. So, I always want to go to Croatia, and the reason why is because of the wildlife there. Because I actually had a friend that is from Croatia. They used to tell me stories about, the scorpions there. It has Croatia is home to some forest scorpions, believe it or not. And I always said that I always wanted to go and catch some scorpions there, because they have some small species of scorpions. Because for those who don't know me, I'm the Kumo Sensei. I work with spiders, and technically scorpions are considered arachnids, so that was kind of interesting for me. But that was a very long time ago, though. Very long time ago. But oh boy, though, I promise you guys, I'm working very hard. And I will actually vlog you guys on my business, starting it up from scratch, from behind me. So the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to be actually rearranging my room. So some stuff is going to go out, such as the tank behind me here. That tank is going to go out. And then some other things. But I really want to tell people who watch my channel that, you don't really have to actually watch my content. Like, just go out and do your life. Croatian beer. That's funny. And I told you a lot of time where I came from. Yeah, that's true, Marco. You told me a lot. I can't really tell you where my whole origin comes from, because like I stated, my father, when he was born, he was already jumping from country to country. So I just can't trace that to anywhere. My mother, she immigrated to California here in the United States. So yeah, it's like, unless I ask him, it's gonna be like a very long story, quote unquote. But Marco, though, I'll tell you guys someday, whenever that day comes. But I do, let's actually talk about some things that, because I feel like if I don't, I think now's a good time to clarify some push-up stuff in the daily uploads. There's actually going to be a day where it is going to be my last daily push-ups. I know that a lot of people found me through either my anime videos, voice acting videos, or my push-ups. But I have to completely be transparent here. There is going to be a day where I'm going to stop. And I think I figured out, well, I already did have it figured out, but I'm not going to tell you when it will stop, though. So it's going to stop at some point. But I think the best stopping point is the day I actually finish my voice acting career, I guess. Once it gets started, I think that's the best time to stop uploading the daily push-ups. Because there's really only 3 goals I really want to complete now: my stage acting career, voice acting career, and then my Tarantula business. The Tarantula business is going to start very soon, by the way. Honestly, it's very close. Like, dead on very close. I have so much money saved for it because I've been grinding my work hours lately, which I think you guys are pretty much transparent about that. Like I have money saved for it, so that's going to start soon. So that's 1 goal down, and then there's only going to be 2 left. Voice acting and then stage acting. The one I don't really know about is stage acting, though, because I don't really know how I'm going to conclude it. I would actually like to travel in a stage acting troupe. For those who don't know, a troupe or a stage acting troupe is like, it's basically like a stage acting traveling group. Maybe that's what I'll do. Did you think about building your muscle? Not only definition, you'll be too skinny. I am currently a bit too skinny. I'm still. This is the reason why I haven't been training too heavy, because you can't train heavy if you don't have the necessary body fat or protein intake. So I've been cutting back on weight training. I still do train, but not as heavy though. Building my muscle. I don't know. Like, to be honest, Marco, I'm already more healthier than 99% of people if I'm being completely transparent here. Like, I don't really need to train too much, because for me, I've already been training since 2016, or actually, yeah, 2016. So that's 8 years now, and then next year will be 9 years. So for me, like, I know that a lot of people may have trouble working out, but since I've been training so long, I understand how my body works, what workouts work better than others for me personally, and how to build my own definition. Yeah, Lino, wish you the best. If you gotta go, you gotta go. I don't force anyone to watch my live streams, so see ya if you gotta go. But in terms of exercising, everybody, I don't really talk about it too much. Even on my daily push-ups, I tell people that I do work out, I do train, and things of that nature, but I tell them that because I'm just trying to be transparent here. I don't really want to make training to be more sophisticated than what it is. Because I think exercising and working out is actually not that hard. Like, it really isn't that complicated. I think it only becomes complicated when 1, you're starting out, or 2, you just don't have the motivation. Because, like, that's really all the only difficult things about working out, for me personally. Because when you're starting out, you really don't know what you're doing. Like you're really, like, you're just new to the gym, and, you know, things of that nature. But once you start working out more often, you start to figure out what diet works best for you, what exercises works best, whether it's hammer curls, or, you know, or dragon curls, or whatever works for you. And then by the time you reach your 2nd or 3rd year, you're pretty much got it figured out to a T. So I don't really want to put too much emphasis on my channel when it comes to working out, because I'm not a workout guru. Yes, I do help out some of my colleagues get into shape every now and then, but I'm not their coach or an advisor. I'm just like your average gym bro. But with actual good advice and not BS advice at times. But I do wonder from time to time, though, like, why people keep asking for me to work out when I've stated so many times I do work out. Like I'm way too fit, honestly. But not right now though. Right now I'm a bit too underweight to where I can still exercise, but I can't train as heavy because I don't have enough protein intake nor enough body fat. My body fat is way too low to actually be doing some workouts. I am going to be training after this live stream, by the way, everybody, but I'm not going to be doing anything heavy. So no deadlifts, no squat racks, none of that. I'm just going to hit some basic curls, Maybe some lower abs. That would definitely help. Leg raises will definitely help. I'm going to be doing some leg raises, some bent knee leg raises. I'm going to hit some pull-ups. 2 different variations of pull-ups, I guess, combined with a little bit of calisthenics for a good core balance, I guess. And then maybe go on a 4 to 5 kilometer run. Excuse myself. Why don't you do modeling anatomy? I'm not. That's kind of embarrassing. I don't want to get naked for modeling anatomy. I know what you're talking about, though. But you have to understand, though, like, as a stage actor, like, here's the thing. As a stage actor, you know, if you just see me only, yes, I'm very fit. There's no denying that. But the moment you jump into stage acting, a lot of people are fit. Me fit, essentially. So you have to understand, Marco. I get the joke, but everybody is fit in stage acting. The people who are serious, that is, are fit. Like, so I don't think I'll be a perfect fit because there are better people, is what I'm saying. But I understand your joke, though. Tomorrow is Labor Day. Yes, tomorrow is Labor Day here in the United States. But John, I don't think Marco and everybody else will understand what Labor Day is because that's an American that's an American holiday here. But I don't know where to go afterwards, though. Like I stated, I didn't really plan out what comes after because I spent so many years chasing after these goals that, like, I don't know. I want people to understand. I've been doing stage acting since 2016. And then the Tarantula work, I have been doing it forever. Like, I just don't know where to go after all of this. So, I don't know how to explain it. Have you ever been doing something you love for so long, and then now you're finally, like, at the end stage of it all, after years of working towards it? I actually thought my dreams were dead in the water back in 2021 to 2022 when I started this channel because of the pandemic. But now that I got my life back together, I'm like at the end of it all. It's crazy. I just can't believe it, man. Feels like I started everything yesterday. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai? You know, my father actually does know self-defense, which is pretty interesting. So, I don't know, maybe I'll take up a self-defense or something as well, like my father. So here's a funny story. I never told you this story before, but I think I should tell the story now. So, my father actually knows self-defense. I forgot what he practiced in, but he actually does know self-defense. So over 20 years ago, here in America, that is, my father was going to get mugged. My father, my mother, and my older brother, when he was still a baby, was going to get mugged by these 2 Vietnamese immigrants here in the United States. And funny thing is that my father actually dropped them. My father dropped them both. And the funny thing is that both of them had knives and my father had nothing. That is probably the most, like, those 2 guys chose the wrong day to actually try to mug my parents, quote unquote, or the wrong person. So my father was completely unarmed and he literally dropped them both. It's crazy too because I thought that story was fake, but man, it's a real story. It's pretty interesting, honestly. Try to mug my father and my mother with knives in their hands and whatnot. What a crazy story, man. Maybe some spider than his muscles enough. You're funny, Marco. Hello there, Ishan. But That's a real story, though, everybody. My father actually dropped. Man, I feel bad for those guys, though. He beat them up so bad, it's crazy. But who knows, maybe I will take up some sort of self-defense or some sort of martial arts in the future. Just now, I don't feel like it as of now, though. Whatever I find interesting, I'll take up, I guess. Whenever I have more free time, that is. But that is a very interesting story, though. That's why I don't really want to mess with my father too much, honestly. That's the last thing you want to do, is get dropped by your own father, especially one that knows how to do self-defense. And he's really good at it, too. I'm not going to ask my father how to do that type of stuff, though. It's crazy. I did actually see him do a drop kick one time. Like a full split-on drop kick. That was crazy. But I'm just not going to say anything. My father is older now, so he can't really use self-defense as good as he used to. He still is quite flexible, I'm not going to lie, though. He can probably still do a split, no problem. Despite his age kicking in. But I was always the disposable kid, though, so... I don't think my father will worry too much, though. I'm just one of many children. But man, that was old memories, I tell you. But coming back in together, though. Like, coming back to what I was saying earlier, though. Yeah, but then when it comes to buying a God of the Gun Special America, you can just buy like bread in a shop. That's actually the sad part about America. But at the same time, though, it's America, what you expect. I still would like to finish exploring America, because, man, I want to travel, but I gotta travel and finish up America first. They went to live the lives of upstanding citizens. That's actually what actually happened, believe it or not, Ash Cat. Ash, you're 100% on spot on. So, a bit of detail about that. So when those two Vietnamese guys tried to rob my parents, at the time, my mother was pretty much... My mother was essentially... She had a kid, my older brother, which was still a baby at the time. Which, honestly, if you're trying to rob a family, that's not really a good time. So, those two guys actually came up and tried to mug my parents, and pretty much my dad dropped them, even though they both had knives. Big knives, too, as a matter of fact. I think the right word is machete, but it's kind of stupid for them to do that, though. That's why I don't really want to mess with my father too much, especially when he's mad. So for me, I was always the disposable kid. Because, you know, there's so many siblings in my family that I'm just one of many. But back to what I'm saying, though. In terms of, like, guns and stuff in America, I feel like that's kind of... It is true about guns in America being a bit too much, but at the same time, it's a bit misrepresented in a way. And I don't want to get into the politics of that, but... People do not understand how big America is, though. America is such a big country. It's ridiculous. So for those people who don't live in America, I'm going to tell you exactly how it is when you travel in America. Every single state in America is essentially its own country, in a way, even though it's a part of the United States, obviously. And it's kind of hard to explain that for people who don't live in the United States. Because if you live in the UK or in Europe, you can drive from one end to another in like a few hours, you know. But in America, like, it will take days to get through it. Like, it's just so crazy because I have friends from the UK who came to the United States and they were just so mind-boggled at how big the United States really is. Every single state in the United States is essentially its own culture, its own it is its own thing entirely. I promise y'all, there are so many American accents I don't even know about. There's approximately about, I think, 60 to 200 different American accents here in the United States, and I don't even know half of them. It, it's just crazy. You just have to understand how big America is. Like, I don't even know everything about America. It is a mishmash of everything. Like, I've seen it all at this point. Bro, you have straight route of road. Whoever told you that, man, is a friggin' lie. We do have routes that do connect one into the other, but you have to understand, like you can't compare the scope of America, man. It's just ridiculous. So I always tell people who come to so even back in 2018, 2017, 2018, to all my European friends who come to the United States, here's the best way to put it. The moment you step into the United States, it's a wild wasteland. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, which is the annoying part. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Like, oh man, I really, it's one of the things I love and hate about America, is that anything can happen. You can win the lottery one day, and the next day you can just get mugged. It's just too crazy here in the United States. I will say though, the diversity in America is some of the most diverse ever. Come to a mall. If you ever come to a shopping mall in America, you will see every single ethnicity, period. Like, Indian, African, Asian, you name it. It's crazy, man. That's the best part about America, though. It just is diversity. It's like you will literally see every diversity if you ever go into a mall in America. Gosh, I really want to vlog going to the mall, because I really just want to show you guys, like, especially those in Europe and those that are not in the United States, how diverse it is. Because, like, you will see every single ethnicity in a shopping mall. Like, not just Japanese people, like, you know who here, but, like, everybody else. It's crazy, man. I really like going to the mall. Also a great place to find a date, too. Like, in my personal opinion. Like, I've seen some fellow Japanese people, some Koreans, Chinese, Indian. It's pretty crazy, honestly, the diversity in America. I always want to go to New York, but New York is too far from it's not too far from where I live, but it's like a 10-hour drive, and it's just not worth going checking out. But who knows, man? Maybe someday I'll finish exploring the United States here. I do want to go to Florida too, but Florida is just too crazy, man. But that's the goal, though. If I ever do travel someday, the first thing I really want to do is finish exploring America, because America has too much stuff I haven't explored just yet. That's the reason why I go to the mall, John. Is because they always have anime stuff there. So if you want to travel from New York to like some state in the West, how long would it take? 3 days? 3 days at shortest. If you're traveling from one end to the other, like from New York to California, it will take 3 days. The shortest it'll take will be 3 days. Europe is, I don't know. Europe, it's not the same in a way, though. And I feel like, and the reason why is because you do see a lot of ethnicities, but they're more there for tourism. Not really like people who actually live there, if you get what I'm saying. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from, though. I don't have anything against that, though. Diversity is a beautiful thing, by the way. Trust me. Especially when it comes to your heritage. But diversity in Europe is more of a tourism diversity, and not necessarily like a universal of like melting pots of people living together. It's kind of like what people say about New York. Hello there, Mikey. I don't know. Maybe I should ask about that, though. The diversity in Europe is great, but it's not as diverse as America's. If we're talking about like people actually living in America or in Europe or wherever. Like, for example, I actually have Japanese friends who are Brazilian. I'm doing good, Mikey. Thanks. So, a lot of people may not know this, but there's actually a Japanese community in Brazil. This is why there are some Japanese Brazilians out there, you know? Because, like, back then, there was a Japanese, there were Japanese immigrants who immigrated to Brazil. And there was some that actually immigrated to the United States as well. You know? Like, I don't know. I think Australia is pretty diverse, and if we're talking about diversity here. Australia does have a diverse culture of Indians and Chinese immigrants, which is pretty nice. But America's diversity is just crazy. Like, it is crazy in a good way. Because, like, you can literally just pick up, like, other cultural foods, you know, that you wouldn't expect. Like, in America, like, you can find kebabs down the street sometimes. And other times, you could find, like, I don't know. It's such an interesting melting pot. Canada is more... Canada is more, to be honest. Canada's alright. I actually have a bunch of friends in Canada. Shout out to Canada, by the way. Shout out to my homies in Vancouver. I do want to give a shout out to my Korean friends and my Korean immigrants that immigrated to Canada. Love those guys. I'm a big fan of Canada, by the way. I still need to go visit Canada. Canada is one of my go-to places in the future, without a doubt. Vancouver. I gotta go there. Like, legit. I really gotta see how it's like. Someday. I would not say India is as diverse. Because I actually have friends that went to India. Not just once, but a few times. There's a lot of Indians in India. I wouldn't say it's diverse in terms of ethnicity. Oh, that's interesting. Sorry, Ash. I don't really watch I don't really keep up with fighters, but that's pretty interesting though. Yoto Machida. There's a lot of Indians living in Canada, like it's crazy. It depends on where you live in Canada though. Because I know that a lot of Indians, shout out to my Indian friends, a lot of them do live in Vancouver, but some of them also do live in Ontario? Ontario is where most of them live, I guess. And somewhat of, what you call it? I'm not... See, when it comes to Canada, I do know a lot about Canada, but not enough to where, like, I live there. But the reason why I know a lot is because my friends live in Canada. India got multiple states, and this states is like different people and culture, languages. I know that for sure. I have friends who well, some of you guys do live in India, obviously, but I have friends who travel to India. They tell me about it all the time, though. It's pretty interesting how it works because when my friends actually visited India, they were told by the tour guide that they shouldn't really drink any of the water that is offered in like a glass or things. They can only drink bottled water because, you know, there's a level of what you can and can't drink in terms of purity of water in India. And because since they're foreigners, obviously, the water levels is not as clean as where they came from. So it's pretty interesting that how different countries are. But I still do want to visit India, though. Like, I don't have anything against India whatsoever. I think people in India are awesome, by the way. Underrated in a way. But I will say this, though. My friends, they stopped going to India because they had not so great experiences over there. And I don't want to mention it because I'm going to sound very offensive to, like, my fellow Indians. But I still do think India is an awesome place that I do want to travel to, though. But Canada, though. Canada is a place I have to go to. Because I really want to see what my friends were like when they lived there. By the way, I don't think any of my Canadian friends live there anymore in Canada because they all moved out to America, which was kind of frustrating. Because a long time ago, so here's a funny story. A long time ago, I actually wanted to move to Canada, but what ended up happening was that before I made that decision, all of my Canadian friends were essentially moving to the United States because they graduated with their masters and their bachelors into, I can't tell you what they went into, but essentially their jobs required them to move to America because there was better pay here than over there at that time. Still is, actually. So essentially, if I made the decision to move to Canada, I'll be like the most loneliest person there, while they move here to where I live in America. Well, not where I live, but here in America, essentially. And it was just so frustrating because, like, my life at the time was not so great. And I really just wanted to, I don't want to say run away, but I just wanted to start anew. But I would like to visit Canada someday, though. Someday. And also Europe. Especially Croatia. I still want to go capture some scorpions there, but that's a whole nother topic. I got a lot of Japanese friends. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I think Japan's a great place to visit. I will not live in Japan, though. I don't know how my cousin does it. If you live in Japan, you're essentially going... If you live in Japan, you either have to work extremely freaking hard, or you just have no free time at all to live in Japan. I don't know how my homies, friends, and relatives can do it in Japan. I would not. I would die. I know that people in Europe, in America, in Australia, in the Western countries will actually tell you about the 9-to-5 jobs and whatnot. But in Japan, there is no 9-to-5. You're working essentially 6 days a week, 7 days, because they don't really like it when you call off. It's just horrible. In terms of like the work culture sometimes. Yeah, man. Canada is awesome. I still do want to visit Canada someday though, Mikey. But in terms of like going to Japan, I could visit Japan, but I could never live there. I just wouldn't be able to do it. Like people don't understand that Japan is not just a place. It is a complete culture. Like it is culturally different. Like you have to understand how culture works, man. It is a culture of respect. And that goes both ways in a good and bad way. Like you can't technically say no in a way. Sometimes when people say like yes, they mean no, and you just kind of had to catch on their on what they're trying to tell you. And oh boy, I'll tell you, foreigners are the worst at trying to understand that. But see, I do want to travel, but as I'm saying though, I'm going to keep my traveling adventures until when I'm like in my late 20s to 30s. Because right now I'm pretty much in my mid 20s. But I don't, like they tell you, when it comes to your youth, your 20s and your early 30s is the best time to make money. That's what they'll tell you that in Japan. They'll tell you that in China. They'll tell you that pretty much in every Asian country. And I do kind of believe that, actually. Your 20s and your early 30s is the best time to make money. Because you're a young adult. You're still in your youth, but you're essentially grown up. So I'm going to use my time there to actually start my business, get my career going. And then once I approach my late 20s, which I'm currently approaching my mid 20s is where I am now. But essentially, though, once I get there, I'm just gonna start traveling. Not everywhere, but the places I want to go, though. One at a time. When I visit Japan, I think that'll be one of my last stops, actually. I like Japan a lot, but Japan to me is my Disneyland. So I'm gonna save the best for last. But the first place I really gotta go, though. Some places here in the United States, New York. That's the one I gotta go. Then Canada, and then everywhere else afterwards. But boy, that's the current plan though. But in terms of my dreams though, I don't really know where to go afterwards. Because, like the three I stated. Voice acting, the Tarantula business, and then stage acting. Those three are pretty much reaching its conclusions, though. Well, not voice acting. Voice acting, I'm getting there. I did voice my role, though, so that's pretty nice. My freelancing doing so good. I made about 2,500 rupees in a week, $30. That's interesting. Became editor for 2 YouTubers. I see. That's the thing, Mikey. Let's talk about that for a second. YouTube. I don't plan on making YouTube my full-time career, even though I will still upload on YouTube. And although I may not upload daily anymore here on the channel, I still will upload on this channel. But I don't really want to hire editors because I feel kind of bad, because I feel like if I can do it myself, I don't really need to hire anybody. But Mikey, though, being an editor can be one of the greatest things in the world. Depending on how much you're editing, that is. Because if you're editing like a 5-hour video, oh my god, I just gotta give you credit if that's the case, but I don't know, man. But I will say this, though. I think everybody should give YouTube a shot. I literally mean that. I've always stated that, and I will always say it again. I think everybody should try YouTube. Even not for views, but just try it out for fun. Because I don't know, there's something about YouTube that I find so endearing. It is truly what I will call free speech. I found a thing I'm good at. That's a good thing, Mikey. Go for it, baby. If you're good at something and if you enjoy it, just go for it. Creativity should not be wasted, even if you're bad at studies. That is so true. I feel bad, though, about studying for, like, my Indian friends. Mikey, I know you're Indian, but my Indian friends, man, they have it really rough, yo. I feel like the standards that they throw on a bunch of my Indian friends is just too high of a standard. You know, they want them to study as hard as they can to get into a university, you know, that is pretty much have a very low acceptance rate. And then they were expected to make a really high paying job. So, like, just to get a wife or a possibility of, you know, getting married and things of that nature. I feel like people are throwing too much high expectations on my Indian buddies. Because, like, I have Indian friends, obviously, and oh my god, they go crazy, man. Like, they're just so they're overworked in a way of, like, expectations. You know? They don't really have time to actually enjoy life. It's just so sad to see that, because it's not just present in India, but it's becoming more present everywhere nowadays. Like, I don't think society should force us to a standard, you know? But I understand that, like, everybody has to make a living. That I will not deny. Everybody has to make some sort of living. But the part that gets to me is the fact that, like, society expects so much from us nowadays. It's just too crazy. Exactly, Mikey. That's the thing. Everyone is going to expect too much of you. Not just from, like, my Indian friends nowadays, but it seems like it's becoming present everywhere. You know? Parents' pressure. I know that feeling a lot. It's frustrating because I really do think that everybody should try to enjoy life, even though I'm not really in the position to say that. I really just don't want anybody to live a miserable life. You'll only have one life, and you don't want to waste it, you know? But because of how the societal norms, pressures, and pretty much expects everybody to be, it kind of drives everybody nuts. But hey, though, that's the reason why I'm just trying to find something I do enjoy and make that a living. Why are you taking stress at a young age? That's just way too sad of a reality to, like, that you just can't ignore at this point. This is Mikey, that is kind of one of the reasons why I really just decided to go for my tarantula business and the things I enjoy in life. I'd rather, I don't know, rather make that my living than to work for somebody else for 40 years and just hate my life. But hey, I'm not one to judge. I'm not one to judge, man. Everybody has different expectations and what they want to do. It's really just up to them. But I hope people don't give in to that pressure, though, when it comes to like what they want to do with their own lives. You know, it's not for me to decide how you live. That's really up to you on how you want to live. You kind of have to learn with the mistakes and trial and error. But, it is getting past that time. I gotta go train now, guys. So, I guess I'll call this a live stream for today. Because I gotta get going to go train. That's kind of true, Mikey. But, uniqueness goes a long way. Be yourself, be different, baby. But, I guess I'll call this a live stream. Because I gotta go train. But as always, everybody, thanks for watching. And, I don't know if I'll stream next week, because next week I think I'm working the entire week. But I will try to vlog once I get my things together, so stay tuned for that. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, that is. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but tomorrow for the next 25 push-ups. But I'll see you guys next time for the next live stream. I'll upload when I'll live stream again. And with that, that's really about it. See you.